I wonder if I'm gonna get anywhere. You let me go? There's the choke. It's gotta warm up a bit. There we go. Hey everybody, it's Dick here. Today I'm on my 1980 or 1981, I can never remember, Yamaha XS400 Special 2. This bike has a special place in my heart, and it's a lovely little punchy bike. It's got drum brakes front and back. It's all original paint, original seat. Everything is stock except for those handlebars. It's been brought back to life by a buddy of mine, and I love riding it when I can. It lives in a barn most of the year, but every summer when I can, I take it out. The kids take a turn on it. I take a turn on it. We ride around our farm. We ride around the country lanes up in upstate New York. Then we put a cover back on it and wait for the next year. Let's take it for a ride. Hey everybody, it's Dick here. Today I'm on my 1980, or is it 81? 1981. I got two of these bikes. I can never remember which one's the 80 and which one's the 81. But I'm on one of them, 1980 or 1981 XS400. This bike is called the Heartbreaker. It is a lovingly, well, almost restored, near stock. I was impatient. I didn't let the buddy, I didn't let him warm up well enough. But normally this bike's really punchy. I'm not really feeling it right now. Hopefully when it warms up it's gonna be a little punchier. These XSs can be or these old Japanese bikes can be left forever, as long as you store them reasonably well. A recharged battery and some fresh gas in it, and it's gonna be happy as a clam. It'll start right up. I'm a big fan of these 80s Yamahas. First bike I ever owned in England was an 80 XS400, and that was the first of a handful that I've owned. The reason this one's called the Heartbreaker is I had a friend who I was supposed to go on a big long hiking trip with, and right before our trip it turns out he had a bit of a heart condition that he didn't know about, and he had to go in for surgery. Instead of a hiking trip we planned a motorcycle trip, and right before his surgery he got his license, but then circumstances meant he couldn't buy himself a bike, and I ended up finding this XS400 on Craigslist in Albany, New York, where I was living in England at the time, still am, and I managed to convince his brother to drive out in a blizzard to buy this bike. I wired the money over to him, he bought the bike, brought it back to his place. It needed some work. It turned out the bike started life as a UK import. The guy who had originally bought it new was a US naval officer who then, after he retired, shipped it back to the States with him, and it lived in his backyard for the whole time. So the bike didn't run, it needed some TLC, and my buddy, while he was coming back to life out of his surgery, brought this bike back to life. And we went on a tour together, and at the end of the tour, he gave me this bike as a gift. Come on, buddy, up the hill. Come on, you got more life than this, I know you do. It's a little exasperated right now at the moment. I don't know why. I'm not getting the spirit that I usually get out of this thing, but come on, well done, yeah baby. Starting to come alive a little bit. There we are. It's waking up. I love this bike. And the thing about the XS, anyway, so he brought this bike back to life while he was recovering from his surgery, and he ended up buying a Triumph Tiger 800 adventure bike for us to do a tour on, but we had to get from his place to where I store my US bikes, and I rode this on the first part of our tour. And at the end of our tour, he handed me the title and the keys, and he said, I'm giving this bike back to you. And we kind of have joint custody now of this baby. This doesn't want to go over 30 miles an hour, though. There we go, 35. It's a 400cc, but I've been up to some highway speeds on this pretty easily. I don't know why it's a bit tired today. I think I needed to let it warm up a bit more. Here we go. There we go, there we go. Starting to get a little backfire. There we go, coming to life. There we go, coming to life, yeah! Woo! I think one of the baffles just popped free on the exhaust. I'm getting lots of backfire on it, but I'm getting some more power. That's much better. Yeah, that's the bike I remember. Yeah, these 80s Yamaha XS400s got a lot of spirit. They punch above their weight in terms of power once they're happy. But yeah, I'm going 50 now pretty easily, and I got more, and the torque is great. Yeah, I'm up 55. I mean, you can see I'm going some proper speed now. I don't know, it took a little while to come to life, but now we're cooking with gas. If you ever see one of these old XS, the more popular XS bike is the XS650. But if you ever see any of these XSs for sale, the Yamaha XS was the bike to have. I think it was probably the bike that put Triumph out of business. Some people say it's the Honda CB, but both the CB and the XS were the answer to the Triumph Bonnevilles by the Japanese manufacturers, and both of those bikes were seriously reliable, fun, bulletproof. I mean, this thing is 40-something, this is 39 years old. Let's call it 40 years old. And it's so much more spirited, and the power and the torque, everything is better than any 400 you can buy today. And they start up. You put gas, you put power, change the oil, and it's a joy to ride. But yeah, this thing was probably on its deathbed when my buddy brought it back to life, and we call it the Heartbreaker. These are not stock bars, but everything else is stock on it. You got a wonky turn signal over there because when he learned to ride it, and now my kids are learning to ride it, everyone dumps this bike. And those turn signals, those lollipop turn signals, they take a beating. They're the first things to go, but it's just kind of wonky, bent. But this thing is awesome. I mean, it's so much fun to ride. I think this is my turn. I missed my turn. Yeah, this is the turn. Up here. Yeah! Obviously, 1980s. No rider modes, no traction control. But, you know, the roads, the pavement ends around here. And this thing just loves... You know, the early scramblers were just these old bikes with high pipes. So this thing is just really fun on these dirt gravel roads. They just kick around, the back kicks out. And the geometry is just classic rider geometry. It's just perfect. And I love riding these busted up roads on this bike. This is a part of the fleet that will never be sold. I rarely sell motorcycles, only if they don't fit the bill. I try to keep every bike I buy, so I'm really considered about what bike I'm actually buying. But this one will be in the fleet forever. It's never going to be sold because it's just so much pure motorcycling fun. It's one of those fast, slow vehicles. You feel like you're bowing around at really high speeds, but you're not. You're going well within the speed limit, but you're having a big smile. You have a big smile and loads of fun on this thing. I think the engine's rubber mounted, I don't know. But you get some vibration in the clutch side foot peg and a little bit in the handlebars, but not much. The risers here off the triple tree is rubber mounted, so it's meant to be a bit of suspension there for the rider, the little rider suspension. It's got a cushy king queen seat on it, so it's a touring seat. This thing was sold as a tourer when it was originally sold. This is I think the Special 2 or whatever it's called. So it came with a king queen seat, a rack off the back. You could even get you could get the XS400, which is a triple, and it was shaft driven with a huge big fairing on it, like a chips fairing on it. But this thing is just pure motorcycling fun. I had to sell the 400 I had in England because I was still riding, I was within the year of riding on my US license, and I didn't know how involved getting a motorcycle license was, and I could not find a place to park it off the road, and I was risking not being able to tax it or MOT it and then having it confiscated. So I ended up selling it, and that was a disappointment. But I have two more. I have this one now and another one that I'm destroying with modifications. But what a great, great motorcycle. Any of these XSs. There's a lot of fans of the RD, the Yamaha RDs, which kind of in the same era. But I'm not a fan of the RDs because of the shape of the engine, the kind of square-topped engine. I'm not really a fan of those. But and like I said, the most popular one of the XS line was the XS650, which you see a lot of bobbers of, and the power on the 650 is really like, I mean, it rivals the modern day 1000cc cruisers, and they're really awesome bikes. If you find an XS650, you gotta buy it. They're a bit pricier because people know kind of what they're worth, but you can always find an XS400 pretty cheap. A lot of the custom shops now are getting into the XS400s and doing a lot of interesting stuff on the XS400s. But it's still pennies on the dollar compared to anything else as fun or powerful. I mean, I'm going 45 miles an hour and I feel like I'm going 90. I mean, the speedometer might be broken, but it's just a joy to ride. But this thing is just gonna age. I'm not gonna do anything to it. I might straighten out that turn signal, but there's not gonna be any modifications. It's gonna just fresh rubber, fresh gas, fresh oil, fresh battery, and just enjoy the ride. It really is perfect the way it is. And I always forget how much fun this bike is. And my buddy did a great job bringing it back to life. I thought maybe he'd get it running and we'd kind of hold on for a little bit, but this is a member of the family now. And what a day to ride it, huh? So this is 391 cc's. The horsepower at the time of manufacture was 38, 39 horsepower, maybe 36 horsepower. 26 newton meters of torque at something like 9,000 RPM. I think it feels a bit torquier than 26 newton meters, but that's what the paper says. Obviously, over 40 odd years, 30 odd years, you're going to have a reduction in horsepower. But this thing outdoes any modern 300 or 400. It just has so much more character and feel to it, and it's a proper torquey motorcycle. And it's got a great noise. It's just these stock megaphones. I think one of the baffles has come loose, which makes it a bit rattly. Sounds like a proper motorcycle too. It doesn't sound like empty. Some of those 400s and 300s you get, you rev it and it sounds empty. There we go. Do a proper. Barrel up the hill. Whoa! Misread that. But it's forgiving. You can hear that. It sounds like motorcycle. 30 miles an hour feels like you're going 100. It's awesome. Red line is 9,000 RPM. It's funny, maximum torque is at 9,000 RPM and the red line's at 9,000. There's got to be something wrong with those specs. I don't care what the specs are. It's really visceral. It's mechanical and muscly, and it's got a proper motorcycle character to it. The other thing that's funny about this bike, it's got 6 gears. 1980 or 81, Yamaha put 6 gears on a motorcycle. I was complaining just the other day about how the Street Scrambler and the Street Twin series only have 5 gears, and this has 6. It's pretty awesome. 4.5 gallon tank. There's a couple of aesthetic things wrong with this bike. The tank is a little long and kind of an odd shape. The clocks and headlamp are a bit too high. You can do a lot of improvement to the aesthetics of it. The frame is of solid. It's a good blank canvas for some really cool customization. The 650 frame is a bit more open to kind of bobbing and chopping. This one, you're a bit limited because of the spine that the tank rests on, and the solenoids sit right under this gap between the tank and the frame. It's still a good platform for customization. Uh-oh. I think I'm out of gas. I think I just ran out of gas. This does have a reserve on it, but I don't know how. I don't know how the reserve works. No. I got some gas. I wonder. There we are. I think that's my reserve. I think I pulled the choke out. Sounds like it's running rich. I did pull the choke out. There we go. Huh. Well, looking for a reserve tank. Let's not rev it too much. Ooh, it's coming to life now. I wonder how many miles I get on a reserve, because this thing is sprung to life. Woo! There you go, baby. 6 gears. Wow, that's awesome. This thing kicks ass. I'm into the red zone on my Speedo. 6,000 RPMs at 60 miles an hour in 6th gear. 666, baby! Riding with the devil on this thing. This is so fun. There's a speed trap up here, so I gotta watch my speed, but I don't think I've exceeded the speed limit yet, even though it feels like it. Around here you get these seasonal roads. This one goes through the marshland. Seasonal, limited highway use. No maintenance from December 1st to April. This one's pretty flat, goes along the cliffs here and over by the wetlands. There's some seasonal roads through here that are pretty steep and pretty harrowing and narrow through the forests. I was saying when I was test riding the, bottomed out. I wonder if I'd pop the tire on that one. I don't think I have full air in here. It's a little loose. Now this is scrambling. If I was living full time in the States, this is why I would buy that Triumph XE, because these roads are all over this area. And you just barrel through, kicking up gravel and dust. See if you can kick out that rear end a little bit and just go for a little bit of a scramble. This XS400 is great for a little scramble, even with the stock megaphone exhausts down low. You hear the gravel clinking off them. But who cares? If you're scrambling, a dented exhaust isn't so bad, because you're not riding the bike, you're not parking it up somewhere for someone to admire your bit of jewelry. You're just rambling. You're just scrambling. As long as your exhaust doesn't fall off behind you, who cares where it's mounted? So this has a 180-degree crank on it. And they put this 180-degree crank on it so you would have less vibration. I think it was radially, but the vibration comes across the across the axis. So you do have some vibration places, but it's not nearly as vibey as it could be. Oh God. Get the fuck out. No! God damn it, these fucking birds. What is it with these birds? Coming to the end. Yep, here's the end. I'm gonna turn around and go back. That was fun. And they just come out the pavement again. The balance and the turning radius on these XS bikes are perfect too. I mean, it's a user-friendly riding experience. Yeah, slid the back out a little bit. I'm riding road tires on this thing, so I can't be too aggressive, but it's hard not to be when you have such a punchy little bike and such a great fucking road. Is there a car coming up? Nah, it's the parked car I saw on the way down. But yeah, I would own that Triumph Scrambler. Actually, I don't know if I would need it knowing that I have this 400 here. Might pick up another 400 and make it a Scrambler, put some high pipes on it and some knobbies. Because this thing, stock, 1980, is performing better than some of the modern bikes I've ridden on through stuff like this. Yeah, motorcycles are just stupid fun. Oh! Pick your line, Dick. Where you going? Wrong side of the road. Get back over there. 40 miles an hour. And I'm just having the best time on a motorcycle. On my reserve tank.
If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.